if we're falling into the course junkie category and we're not doing anything with it, then that's where CPD is a bit questionable.
Don't overwhelm yourself by doing too much for the sake of doing it and getting FOMO.
Knowledge is definitely power, and knowledge can be a curse as well. Genuinely love learning, and I think it is an important thing that you should be doing. I genuinely didn't have a clue. I just knew I loved working with dogs.
Hey, Moorcraft.
Is this how we're starting, everyone, now? I was just going to launch straight in, but you need like a start, middle and end, don't you?
I like a clear starting point, yeah.
Okay. Don't we talk to
I've really thrown you off, haven't I?
Yeah. What's the themage?
I think that we should talk about CPD. CPD. For some reason, there are some listeners of this podcast that think we don't like CPD. Don't know where they've got that idea from, but that is not true.
No. I mean, in all fairness, we may have made a comment before, but it was out of love and just going, actually, CPD's great. However, if we're falling into the course junkie category and we're not doing anything with it, then that's where CPD is a bit questionable.
Yes.
In our opinion, anyway.
But actually, we want to define the importance of CPD in the right context today.
I'll put it this way. I am a massive CPD junkie. I fucking love doing all of the dog knowledge courses. I've done a lot of the dog knowledge courses. What have I done? I did Sarah Whitehead's practical 2-day thing. I did her mentorship for a year. I did IMDT 2 or 4 day. I can't remember which one now. I've done Shikashi's Aggression in Dogs, Kim Brophy's Legs, dog training college certification for there to be a qualified dog trainer. What else did I do? Absolute Dogs, pro dog trainer. I've done a lot.
You have done a lot.
There's probably a lot more.
A good resume.
And of
CPD
course,
there.
My level 6 degree. Hello, 3 years full time.
How could we forget?
Earl.
Mm-hmm. How could we forget that?
Not Verl. Earl.
Not virtual, in real life. Yes, you have done an array of different things there, haven't you?
Yeah. I can't believe I'm going to say these words out loud, but I do actually sometimes get the temptation to do my masters.
Oh God, don't do that.
I know.
Please don't do that.
It's a thing that I shouldn't, but I like learning. This is the thing, and this is where I get to really geek out on all of the business knowledge stuff as well, because I get to go down little research holes and so I genuinely love learning, and I think it is an important thing that you should be doing.
Yeah,
because
I agree. I suppose I have a bit of a different perspective on CPD, really, because most of my knowledge was Earl, living and working in, I didn't live, but I lived through working.
You have your own kennel.
In rescue. So like pretty much mine was all like, imagine an apprenticeship where you're just in it every day and working around all these problems and all these different dogs coming in. And so for me, my geeking out was then. And we had a behaviourist that used to come and visit the centre every like month-ish, and I was always like, me, I want to go around with him and her and learn everything I can learn. And so I suppose it's almost been a bit taken for granted that kind of experience that I had at that point. And so when I did do CPD that you would actually sign up for, and mine was nowhere near as like comprehensive as that, because I probably felt like, well, I've got a lot of knowledge already, so I need to keep doing these things. So the things that I did used to do, I was an absolute dogs geek as well. So I did pro dog trainer, nice little literal shiny badges there. Loved all the merch, loved all the unicorn stuff. That was great. But that felt like a proper club, didn't it, when you were part of that absolute dog? So I liked that. I really respected Tom and Lauren, actually, I know this is going to divide the audience probably, But I thought they did a really good job there of getting that.
Yeah, from that business model perspective.
Absolutely. The marketing was brilliant. And also the igniting fun back into training and getting that widespread, like getting owners involved in training and wanting to do it. You cannot fault them for that. So I loved that. We used to have an in-house puppy school conference every year or every other year, I can't remember now, and I always used to go to that, and you'd have like 2 days worth of all different types of learning, so I would never miss that. And then I did used to go to the APBC symposiums, are they called?
A symposium?
I don't know. I never know what is the difference between a conference symposium. Like,
they were called symposiums.
Yeah, what
they?
is that? What is a symposium? But I did used to go to those as well. Did I used to go to anything else? I don't know if I did anything else really. I considered compass courses and stuff, but again, I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, am I doing it for the sake of doing it? And I felt like I sort of got a good base knowledge anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's so difficult, isn't it? Because regardless as to whether it's dog knowledge or business knowledge or whatever you're interested in knowledge, if you enjoy learning, it's going to be part of your repertoire anyway. Like, you're naturally going to do it. It's like, I know we both love learning. We're both always listening to podcasts and audiobooks, and it's still an element of CPD. And I think it is incredibly important to have an awareness of everything that's out there. And certainly in the dog world, and maybe this is a whole other conversation, I think this is where, in my opinion, and I can only speak on my behalf, but I think this is, for me, where I had a lot of that imposter syndrome bit coming through, because I was a self-taught dog trainer. I was a viral dog trainer because I was learning everything virtually. I was learning it through online courses. And yes, okay, you could take videos and you could send them in and you could get the feedback on them. And yes, I did an in-person mentorship with Sarah, but the hands-on training bit was very small parts of it. Like, it was a weekend here and there. Even the IMDT, the 2-day and the 4-day, it's 2 days or 4 days out of an entire year. And then everything else is just what you're learning. And the more you consume, I think it's more dangerous.
Yep.
It's good, don't get me wrong. Like, I love consuming all of this, but Jesus, like, knowledge is definitely power, and knowledge can be a curse as well. And for me, I think this is absolutely where that imposter syndrome bit came in, because I was consuming that much and I knew so much, but I didn't have the hands-on practicality skills. So I felt 100% confident in going out to a client because I knew I definitely knew more than them. But if you then asked me to, I don't know, be that exact same person that I was in a client setting next to another dog trainer, not a million years I'd do it. I'd be like, no, I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. And you heard me say this to you several times, like, I'm not a good enough dog trainer for that. Yeah. And I genuinely think that's where it comes down from, because all the experiences I've had have been self-learned, essentially. Like, it's me going out. It was me putting myself in situations where I probably shouldn't have in those early days, but I feel like so many people could relate to this, that you go out and you've done some form of learning, and then it's a case of, right, okay, I need to go and test these skills out now. So maybe this is where you're asking for fuel money instead of an actual investment in your service, just so you can go out and test it. I did this when I did nails as well. It's like £10 for your nails, so I can basically use you as a guinea pig. Just pay for the products, essentially. But you go out and then you try and do all of these things, and then that didn't work, and then I'd go home and I'd buy a book on that specific thing that I was struggling with, and I'd consume the book, and then next time I went out, I'd make sure I'd read the chapter that I needed to specifically for that thing. And it was lots of, honestly, like, my library at home was just full of, I had a coffee table next to my bed, which wasn't actually a coffee table. It was a stack of dog books. It was that high that I just used it to put, like, my mug on.
Wow.
Because I just consume dog knowledge all the time.
It is an interesting. So actually, when you were talking, I was thinking then of more CPD was popping into my brain, because, like, if I look back at my origins of working in rescue, and that purpose bit for me was so strong to go in with puppies because I wanted to do that preventative bit, right? So that was something that I never had, because if you think about it, I was literally presented with every kind of behaviour problem you can ever imagine, right, in rescue. So I could have took my pick, could have worked with reactive dogs, I could have worked, like there's all these different types of behaviour I could have specialised in. And for me, it was like a no-brainer thing. I didn't need to think about it. I was like, I want to stop these dogs ending up in here. How do I do that? I need to educate right from like the source. As soon as they get a puppy, they need the knowledge. Then at least if they end up in rescue, they're going to bounce out of rescue very quickly, be more rehomeable, whatever, reduce the stress. And then it's the curse of knowledge, because that was my purpose and I had nobody around me to help me stick to that purpose. So even the organisation that I trained with, Puppy School, kind of says it on the tin, it's Puppy School. They started doing adolescent classes and older dog classes and fun class. And I was just like, that's where it comes from. So I'm surrounding myself with that. And of course I'm going to go off track. And of course I'm going to think, well, everyone else is doing it within this organisation. I have to keep up with it. I'm getting inquiries for adolescent dogs. So I then need to put something on for adolescent dogs. I need to learn about how I can create something for that. You know, so that's that curse of knowledge bit as far as I'm concerned. And then I did Hoopers. So I'm a Canine Hoopers World instructor because I was like, that would be good. And that's when it just started going further and further from that purpose. And don't get me wrong, I love doing all of those things. But had I had that ability to stay on track and go, if I'm going in with puppies, everything I need to consume and do course-wise or like absorb my knowledge with needs to be puppy related and needs to be taking me in that direction. And of course, that never happened. So it's so funny when I look back at that because it was such a strong purpose, but it just got gradually diluted by the industry, by the people I was surrounding myself with. And it's a challenge, isn't it? It's a real challenge.
And it is really hard. And I keep thinking on now we are where we are in our lives and our careers and what we were able to do with our dog training business. It's really difficult because I kind of liken this to, when people kind of give this unsolicited advice.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like we could potentially be those people. In your ears right now. It's unsolicited
You can
advice.
always turn this off, by the way, if you don't like it.
Yeah. I remember actually when I was pregnant for the first time with Clay, and oh God, everyone kept coming to me going like, oh, it's going to be like an absolute car crash for the when you first have your baby, like you're not going to be able to sleep. The sleep deprivation is absolutely horrendous. And I'm there going like, how can it be that bad? Like, I honestly don't understand because I'm not in it. I'm in a different place completely and I'm fine. Like I've done what I can in terms of I've given myself some time off. I've brought staff in to run the business. Like I can literally step back and just sole focus can be me and the baby. And then it hit and I was like, fucking hell, people were like, they underplayed it on how bad it was. But I didn't want to hear it at that time because I wasn't ready to hear it.
It's a bit like your car.
I'm still not ready to hear this. Why?
Sorry, I had to shoehorn that in.
You didn't have to, did you?
No, but it felt like a good segue.
But it is though, isn't it? It's like, so like I'm very aware that we talk a lot about finding your expertise and your niche and all of that. And I'm still going to hold to that. Like it works. It works fucking brilliantly. It's a really good business model and it really helps you combat that imposter syndrome as well because you can go all in on it. But also I'm fully aware that we both would be a complete hypocrite if we said, that's exactly what we did. This is what you have to do.
Not what we did.
And I think this depends on where you're at in your journey. So there'll be some of you listening that are just starting out like fresh-faced baby trainers like we once were many moons back and going, maybe I do have an interest in a certain area. Maybe I am interested in puppies. Maybe you genuinely just haven't got a clue. Like me, I genuinely didn't have a clue. I just knew I loved working with dogs. So I I wanted to explore and do all of those things. And that's where I did take on cases that I did actually need more support with. But again, back then, and I don't really know how different it is now, but back then, there wasn't many people to go to and ask for help. I don't think mentorship was as big a thing. If it was, it wasn't very...
I heard about it at all, to be honest. When I was started out, it wasn't even a thing at all. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone can say, back in 2007, was there such a thing then? I'd never heard of it.
It's more like if you knew other dog trainers, they were... So I remember actually meeting a few people from a conference, a seminar it was actually.
A symposium, a seminar, a conference.
An in-person seminar. And we connected, and they were literally just my go-to people. And I'd just ring them after every appointment going, can you just help me figure this out? Can you help me figure this out? But again, like there wasn't much
prevalent,
there.
was it?
So I was, okay, which is why I would literally go like, right, where's a book on this? And I remember I started working some like reactivity and aggression cases, and I found I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the challenge of trying to figure out, what's going on here? So then, of course, all my James O'Hare books would come out, and then I don't even think Shikashio got onto my radar for quite a few years later, but because it was all book-based back then. And I would just read through it all, but...
Or DVDs.
Yes.
Absolute Dogs used to send you all the DVDs.
I've got a DVD at home as well of... what was it? It's called is it the Motivation Game or something like that?
I think so.
Like 20 quid for a 20-minute DVD. I was like,
Yeah.
what? I was expecting like a full-on thing here, and I was like, oh, it's just 20 minutes. But okay, that's fine.
It cost a fortune to produce it.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah. The choice. Where was we going with all this?
I can't remember.
Just enjoying the knowledge, I think, and actually trying to put it into practice yourself is hard. And I think we've got better as technology evolves and all of that, and there is a lot more support out there now. And I think it is important to, that's it, the hypocriticalness of it all, because I think for some people, depending on what you're like as an individual, you may need to go and play the field a little bit and literally go like, I don't know what my passion is. I'm relatively new into it, or I've only ever had experience with insert thing. Maybe I now want to explore and do something else. So we need to go and try it. And it's all about testing it. And I think this is where you can have fun with your business. It doesn't need to be, and I think this is where people maybe get scared of niching as well. You feel like you're kind of tied into a box, but
which you can always change. Like this is something I used to really worry about, is whatever decision I make in my business, it's set for life. That's what I used to think. Like, okay, do I really want to do this thing? Because if I do, that means changing everything. And it's like, now I look back, I'm like, why did I think like that? I can literally put anything on and take it away as I please, as I see fit, as I decide to. And in my mind, I was literally like bound by the business police. Like, I don't know. I don't know where that came from, or the dog training police of like, you make a decision to do a new thing, you have to stick at it. If you don't like it, you're stuck with it. Like, strange, isn't it, where that thought process comes from?
yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but...
No, but like, it all comes from somewhere, doesn't it? Who knows where, but...
And I think that's the other thing. When I met you, you kept saying like testing and trying, and if you don't like it, change. And I'm like, can you do that? I think I remember like saying that, and you were like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And I remember your response to my response being like, almost like, why do you think you can't do that? But again, people with such set mindsets around me, and it's a particular way of doing something, and it's very rigid and it's not flexible, it's not creative. Like, oh, okay, so you are allowed to do things a little bit differently and you can think outside the box. Yeah. I was like, yes. Oh my God, I literally ran with it, didn't I? I was like, fucking hell, what can we do then?
Do you know what?
I'd
forgotten about that conversation, but I remember it. It's coming back to me.
You opened up like a whole, it's like Pandora's box, like probably a bad thing for Joe, really. But I was like, oh my God, we could do that. And you're like, all right, calm down now, because you can do all these different things. But like, it really opened up that possibility thinking for me, which it'd been suppressed. Like, it was always there, but I just didn't know that you were allowed to do it, and you were allowed to try something and ditch it if you didn't want to do it anymore. And it was okay, nobody would judge you. I think that was the other thing. It's like, if I choose to pull something, if I choose to stop doing something, what's everyone going to think? how is it going to be perceived? Basically, no one gives a shit. Nobody cares. Like, it's really like yesterday's news. Like,
Oh, it's so brutal, but it's so true.
it is true. And as soon as I got my head around that, I was like, actually, no one does give a shit. It's me. It's in my own head. And I'm caring about things that people don't care about here. And it was really freeing. Like, I remember that whole like process, like quite cathartic, quite like, I don't know, just felt, like a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, by the way, you should, because she's getting very animated.
I am.
You look like you're feeling free all over again.
Oh my God. Yes, I am. Yeah, but I'd forgotten how I felt back then, but it wasn't even that long ago, really. But
it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really scary.
Feels like a lifetime ago, but it was a very freeing experience. So, and I see the same in our clients sometimes, having that conversation with them, and they're like, "Oh, what? Really? I can do it." I'm like, yes, I used to think like this. I used to think like this, and it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just the way it's gone.
It's just the way it's landed. It's just happened. And I think when you do start to figure out yourself more and you figure out what you like and what you don't like, and I think this is where CPD can become really purposeful, because again, I think especially as we go down talks and conversations now about, you know, like how realistic it is that this industry is going to be regulated, I genuinely don't know. I'm all for it. I think that there is an element of stuff that needs to happen to get everybody on a level playing field. Whether or not it'll happen, I don't know. And that's not me saying I don't want it to happen. I genuinely don't know. But with everything going down that route, I think we are naturally absorbing more knowledge. We are naturally wanting to make sure that we are at the top of our education game as possible. And I think the skill is having the ability to do both. Be aware of what you want your education skill level to be and knowing how you want to utilize that in your business.
Yeah. Does it fit with the strategy? Does it go with the roadmap that you've created? And
Yeah.
if it's far removed from it, have a rethink.
Yeah. And actually, like, and I think this is the honest conversations that we all need to be having with ourselves, because I've definitely had it, is what am I doing all of this studying for? Because for me, actually just having that honest conversation with myself and going, it's because I enjoy it. It's not for a purpose. I'm like, that frees me of thinking I need to implement it all into my delivery of business. I can just study it for studying's sake.
Yeah. But if you're true to yourself and you've made that realization and have that awareness around it, great.
That's it.
But how many people don't?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore then it leads them down these other rabbit holes, and it means they end up like burning everything down and starting again potentially. And is that really what you want to do?
Yeah.
Have you thought about the bigger picture here? And have you it's a brilliant idea. It's a great bit of science that you've just learned, but is that really how you want to operate that business and forget everything else you do really well? Like there's all these questions to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Or if we do shoehorn it in, are we then going to compromise the stuff we're really fucking good at by doing it? And is it what people really need? Like, it's all these questions to ask, isn't it? And this is only surface level. Like, there's so much more
difficult,
we could talk about
it's
here.
So difficult. Because before I had that realization that actually I do just enjoy learning, I'd put so much pressure on myself to go, like, I need all of that stuff. And these were the words I'd tell myself, like, I need to do that course. I need to get that accreditation. I need to keep proving that I am worthy of this dog trainer behaviorist title that I'd technically given myself. And I need it. And every time I was doing these additional courses and reading all these books and doing all of this stuff, I was then trying to shoehorn, exactly like what you've just said, elements of that into my service, because I didn't know exactly what I wanted that service to be. So I was like, oh, now I'm going to stick in some free work stuff, which I don't fully understand. So now going down to Tilly Farm is going to be a thing on my list that I need to do, because I need to know how to implement that properly. And then now I've just heard about Kim Brophy, and now I need to study her thing so I can implement that into my thing. And now I don't know how to do that. And then I went and did Chikashio's course, and I was like, oh, but I wanted to do that and I'm interested in that. But then how does that now work alongside free work and the legs model and all the other stuff that I've been doing for the last like 7 years. And it was such an overwhelming feeling. I was like, I literally don't know where to start.
And we haven't even touched on the fact that we are assuming that our clients are as invested as we are in this learning. And so when we put it in as part of our course, or we have it as a standalone product maybe within our offerings, we are presuming everybody's going to fly at it and like fight for buying it. And then when it doesn't land very well, we're like, oh, my clients don't care. They don't want they're not as invested, and we blame the clients then. So this is a part of it that can happen, is that we are fully immersed. We are dog people through and through. Everything about dogs excites us. We want to know more. We can't wait to absorb it all that stuff you were saying. Me include, I absolutely love it as well. And then I'm going, yes, so that'd be amazing to offer that to clients. Imagine what they'd get out of it. And I'm not looking at the client and what they really need and how it's going to be received by them or not. I'm not doing that job very well at all. All I'm thinking about is me and how I would love it. And that is not a good way to operate a business either. So I've done things where I've gone on these days, like maybe weekends, and gone, oh my God, that's brilliant. I'm going to bring it into that course. Remember I did that sports fundamentals course?
Yes.
So I've
never understood that.
Yes. That was that kind of thinking around like including a bit of foundation agility, a bit of hoopers, a bit of like free work and balance paths and all of that. And I was like, oh my God, everyone's going to love it. Fuck me. It was one of the hardest things I ever sold. People didn't want it. They didn't want it because they're either going to just love hoopers or just do agility or just figure out like why am I doing the free work bit? Is it because then I was a canine massage therapist. So of course that works really well with that of body movements and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Like it fits with that. It doesn't fit with bundling it up and putting it in come with me for a day and we'll do all this stuff. Fucking hell, no wonder it didn't sell. But
testing.
I tested it and I found actually like some people kind of quite liked it. But really what I should have done was go all in on one of those disciplines really, really well. It's trying things out, but it's in my brain, everyone's going to love it. And in actual fact, it's not enough of anything for somebody to really get their teeth into and love.
Yeah. And you know what? You talking the way you just have and explaining all of that, I think is such a beautiful way of knowing and seeing how everybody is so different. Because weirdly, the way you described that program then, I was like, I could see how that could work, but you weren't invested in it.
No.
Even just the way you're talking about it, it's like, I'm not invested in it. I don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean that program doesn't work. It just doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And for somebody else who is willing to put their all into it, it could totally work. And this is the beauty of business.
And this is the thing, right? For me, I liked the idea of dog sports, but I wasn't a dog sport fanatic. And if you're, in my eyes, if you're going to do that and you need to be obsessive about dog sports. We've got a couple of clients who were very like driven by the dog sport element of it. And I'm like, go all in on that. That is an amazing thing. If you feel that passion and that purpose around that, you will make it amazing. I didn't. I quite like that. I had a friend that was very into agility and I was kind of maybe influenced by her and wanted to like it because she really liked it. And I did a bit of agility myself and I dabbled with a bit of sporty stuff. And I liked it, but I didn't like it enough. So therefore it didn't work. And that's exactly right. Like I wasn't invested enough in it. My real true purpose and passion was always puppies, always was. And I should have stayed with it. But, you know, like I wouldn't be here now if I had.
Yeah, yeah. Right, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it here, aren't we? But I think this is another one we could revisit and go into a bit more depth on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. Go forth, go enjoy your CPD, but just see how you can link it, see how you can do both so that CPD isn't wasted if you're wanting to make it purposeful to earn you money, or if you're happy to own it and just be like, yeah, cool, I love learning. Like both are good. Just know where you're at with it.
Exactly. And don't overwhelm yourself by doing too much for the sake of doing it and getting FOMO around not going to these events.
Oh, that's a good point to end on.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Toodaloo.